All right, so now we're moving on to properties of rectangles. So I measured this for you. These sides are 6 centimeters, and the top and bottom are 5 centimeters. Okay? So both pairs of opposite sides are congruent and parallel. This rectangle is also a parallelogram. It falls under both names. It is a parallelogram. Rectangle is a more specific name for it. Now, you measure all these angles. They are all 90 degrees. So all the angles of a rectangle are, congruent. Do not want that. Let's try that again. And 90, more specifically. So they're all 90 degrees. This is the definition of a rectangle. Now, we're going to draw diagonals. You're going to do your best to draw, and best to use probably a straight edge. You go from here to here, and from T to I. Okay, now we're going to measure the lengths. Okay, it says measure the lengths of the parts of the diagonal. So the whole diagonal is about 8.5. So we're going to say 4.25 centimeters for each one of these. So about 8.5 for each one. The diagonals bisect each other. Means they cut each other in half. So for this reason, a rectangle is also, like we talked about yesterday, a parallelogram. Because if you remember, parallelograms, the diagonals bisect each other. Now the diagonals are congruent. They're the same measurements. All right? Now when it says measure the angle parts, this is 50 degrees, and this is 40 degrees. This one here is 40 degrees, and this is 50 degrees. And same thing down here. This is 50 degrees. We have 40 degrees on that one. And 40 degrees here, and 50 degrees here. They're the angle parts. Now, important things about rectangles. A rectangle is a parallelogram that has 4 90-degree angles. The diagonals are congruent. That's very important. Because a rectangle is a parallelogram, the opposite sides are congruent and they are parallel. The opposite angles are congruent. The consecutive angles are also supplementary. And the diagonals bisect each other. So the rectangle is a more specific parallelogram, so it has all of the components of a parallelogram. So, we know that opposite sides are equal. I love when this does this. Opposite sides are equal, right? So, therefore, we just say 2x minus 5 equals 35. Add 5, 2x equals 40. Divide by 2, x is 20. Again, we can plug our number in here. 2 times 20 is 40, minus 5 is 35. That works out. All right, angle T, which we know is a right angle, is 9x minus 18. So 9x minus 18 is equal to 90 degrees, a right angle. So we add 18, 9x equals 108. Divide by 9, x is 12. We plug that in, do 9 times 12 minus 18, we will get 90. Okay, PS. Now be careful. PS is this piece right here. IT is 16. They're saying this is 16. Well, since the diagonals are equal, that means this is 16 also. So this half is 8. Because remember, the diagonals bisect each other. Therefore, PS, which is 3x minus 4, is equal to 8. So we add 4 to both sides, we get 12. Divide by 3, and x is 4. If we plug that back in and check, we will get 4 for an answer. And that's it on rectangles.